Welcome back to the Purpose Pathway podcast, the place where we uncover stories of healing, wholeness, and having a voice as we rise boldly into our God-given purpose. Join us weekly for fascinating and uplifting stories on Journey to Purpose. Follow us on Spotify and all major podcast platforms.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to my Purpose Pathway podcast, Healing, Wholeness, and Having a Voice. I am your host, Kemi Emmanuel. And today, I have a special guest with me today. I am very privileged. And the title of my podcast today is Dare to Shine. Dare to Shine. And Dare to Shine is with me, and her name is Issanaa D. Today, we're looking at resilience, reinvention, and charismatique personal branding. I'm trying to be as French as I can. Today I'm in Paris, so bear with me. Oh, I'm going to be in Paris today, because I know that we are in front of style. So, yes. So, let's get going. In this episode of the Purpose Pathway podcast, I will be sitting with Issanaa D. Issanaa D is an image and personal branding consultant. So basically, she makes you look beautiful. That's her job. Now, she is also an entrepreneur, a jazz singer, and co-author of Impacto o Feminine. Feminine, you will have to help me with that. Yes, thank you for showing that. Thank you for showing us that. You'll have to help me with that later. Brilliant, brilliant. I like that. Now, just a little bit about Issanaa. From carrying responsibility for her siblings in Cameroon at the age of 10, to singing jazz in Ivory Coast, to building her business empire in France and now in London, Issanaa's story is one of resilience, reinvention, and rising into purpose. And on this podcast, we talk about the purpose pathway, and Issanaa's purpose and her pathway to purpose is what we're going to be looking at today. She shares how she helps women leaders, executives, and entrepreneurs align their image with their mission, cultivate confidence, and embrace their charismatique personal branding. Like I said to you, I'm in Paris today. So come with me. Recognized in 2025 as a woman of light. And I like that. I like light, a woman that can shine. So, yes, Issanaa is passionate about empowering women to dare to shine and to walk in their true identity. So, in this episode, I will be asking some personal questions of Issanaa. As we know, on this podcast, we look at your journey to purpose, and that journey is usually a very personal one. So there's a story attached to this, So what I'm going to say to you right now is that you welcome with me Issanaa D, our very own style consultant. Issanaa, introduce yourself to our listeners, please. Go on.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Kemi, to introducing myself. I think you already say a lot about me. So for the people who listen to this podcast, I am so happy to be here today with this amazing lady, Kemi Emmanuel. And my name is Issanaa D, and I'm self-image and personal branding consultant. And my job is mostly to help women. Sometimes men contact me as well, and I support them to dare to shine through the inner image and external image. And so from that, they can captivate their audience and they can express a charismatic personal brand. And I'm also a co-author of this magnificent book. We was what you call I lost the word. Anyway, I'm co-author of this book, and Impacto
Impactor
Feminin 2020.
Feminine.
Yeah,
Yes.
Impacto Feminin 2024.
What does
And
impactor feminine mean? What is the
Impacto Feminin, which mean impact by woman, impact, yeah,
feminine impact?
feminine
I should
impact,
own
we
them.
can
Yes,
say.
feminine
Yeah.
impact. Yes, that makes sense. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. So we're gonna go right in. I've got some very important questions to ask you, and I am so fascinated by your story. So let us share that story today. So, Isana, your journey began in Cameroon, where you became responsible for your siblings at such a young age. How did those early experiences shape the woman and leader you are today? So tell us, what was that experience about? How did you become somebody who had to look after her siblings? What was going on then?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I was born in Cameroon and I was the older of seven of my siblings,
Seven.
older
Wow.
of seven. My mom, when she had me, she was teenager mom. And after, I can say she was like 16, 17. And after 10 years, I can say we was seven. After approximately, before she had 30 years old, we was seven. So the responsibility
Mm,
was, a part of responsibility was for me. So at the age where you need someone to look after yourself, I was already I will say caring about my
mm,
siblings and
mm,
supporting my mom, going to the market, selling clothes, and also I have to braid and starting doing hair to bring some money at home from 10 years old to make a difference between rice, I will say, and rice with some vegetables. So, and yeah, this is where things began for me. I can say my grandmother passed, I was 10 years old as well. So this make things a bit more complicated for the family. And at that time, I didn't knew that I was building the resilience and the
mm,
leadership. I
mm,
can I didn't put those sort of words on it.
mm,
And yeah, today I can realize that this resilience was my first language and teach me leadership, teach me compassion, teach me how to be close to the person, to the woman, to people without judgment,
mm.
without without judge them,
Brilliant.
and being close without intrusion, just
Mm,
by listening and bring the true supports. And this is what I'm really good to do today with my woman I accompanied in my Renaissance method. Yeah,
wow. Wow. That is so amazing. It's amazing how our early experiences can make us or break us, you
yeah,
know? So
exactly.
you have a choice, and I have interviewed a few people who have had all different kinds of early experiences, and they've turned those experiences around. So this is a very good lesson for a lot of women who feel that their early experiences can determine their future. It can, but it can be negative, it can be positive, but it's a choice, and you
Exactly.
chose to use resilience to get you into leadership. I love that. I love that. Okay, moving on. You discovered your entrepreneurial skills, like you said, early when you used to do styling of hair and when you were selling with your mom at the market. That is such amazing skill. That's a great skill. I love it because I have a ministry for young people, and I love young people learning skills at an early age because it prepares them. So this is evidence that it really does. Looking back, do you think those moments were the seeds of your purpose? Do you think that they planted seeds that were going to determine what you would become in future?
Absolutely, totally. Now, looking back, I can say that selling clothes with my mom caring about all the siblings, starting working at 10 years old to pay my school, to bring some money at home, to feed the family, cooking for 10, 11, 12 people,
Wow.
all of this. Yeah, being broke. Yeah, I can tell all of this was my first business school. Because from that I chose, like you were saying, Kemi, to stand, because you have only two choices when things are complicated: stand or collapse. And you can rebuild your life no matter what happened. Today I can say that my story, my pain don't define me. And this is what I can say to you, your pain doesn't define me. What defines me is the value you give to yourself. And
Brilliant.
it's only your decision. Today I'm working I'm a self-image and personal branding consultant. And self-image is a lot about the value you decide to give to yourself. So if you keep all the trauma, all the pain, all the scar, and stay on the floor, so you wouldn't have a good value of your self-image. And this is going to affect self-confidence, self-esteem, and affect what you can bring to the world as a power. Because we all have power, we all have something. No?
That is awesome. You can either choose to stay down or choose to reinvent yourself and stand up. That is just an amazing lesson to learn. I love that, and I think especially our younger generation, I am praying, and that's why I love the fact that I love young people. I'm praying that they learn from these experiences, because you did not say, oh, because I'm 12 years old, so, oh, life is finished for me. You decided to use those skills that you learned to become what you are today. You said something very profound. You said that was my first business school. I like that. You could not get any more practical business school than that. That is your first business school. So well done for that. Thank you so much. Okay, going on now, I'm going to be looking at the art, your voice, and transformation. I can't wait for you to sing for me, So we're going to have to arrange that. Becoming a jazz singer at the legendary El Du Jazz Club is such a fascinating chapter. How did music and performance teach you about presence? Because that's what you do, isn't it? You appear, you have a presence. How did it teach you about connection and personal expression? Because I think music is so amazing for expression, isn't it? So how did that manage? What happened there?
Yeah, finally, I can say that I was and I am very, very lucky, because I turned a drama situation into beauty. I bring beauty into a difficult or complicated situation, and this is what I call resilience. Because when I left Cameroon, before I decided first to leave Cameroon, I was only 13 years old. And why I took this decision? I took this decision because I will say it's really professionally. My small body was broken completely by 40 years old man. And anyone didn't notice what happened to me. It took me maybe weeks, months to walk properly. And I thought that, wow, my life here is really in danger all the time. I need to do something. But I was only 13 years old.
Wow.
With all of this responsibility. So I saved the money. I started saving the money without saying anything. And at 20 years old, this is where finally I get enough money to leave Cameroon. And when I arrived at Ivory Coast, anyone didn't wait about me. And I didn't know from where to start. So I become like homeless. at 20 years old, I had 100, let's say pounds. I was saying it was euro, 100 into my wallet, and I had my luggage, and I was just in the middle of somewhere, Abidjan. This is the capital at Ivory Coast. And few days later, because one of my gifts, because I started singing in Cameroon in studios everywhere, and doing hair, help my mom in the market, things like that. Because one of my gifts, I find this job at Edu Jazz, which was one of the famous jazz club in West Africa, I can say, and starting working with 20 musicians behind and international clients. And this is where I connect first with Europe. And this teach me a lot about presence, about how you express your notes, you play your partition, your voice, how your voice is important. This teach me a lot. This was my first school of self-expression.
Wow.
Presence,
Like
voice, showing up, look up, showing up, dress up. This is important. Talent also important.
Yes.
And and all of this today, I share this with love and professionalism to my clients as well.
This is amazing.
You
This
see?
is amazing. Every experience, what I've learned, I'm learning so much from you today. Every experience you have has a part to play in you achieving your purpose, basically.
Exactly.
So nothing is, you know what you remind me of. I remember when, I was 19, 20, I wanted to get a job in an office. So I went and I learned how to, I started doing this typing course.
Okay.
Then the typing course was that I wanted to get a job in the office. And then we were still using typewriters, you don't know my age now. We were still using typewriters. And at that point, the electric typewriter was just coming. We forget about computers. We hadn't even talked about computers then. So we were talking about typewriters. And my mom, she grew up here and she went to the Pitman's College as a secretary. So I used to be so fascinated because I used to see her typing and I used to think, how can she do it? She doesn't even look at the thing. And it's an old,
Yeah, I
those old
remember.
typewriters.
Yeah.
So I decided, okay, I'm going to go and learn. I was working, I was doing 3 jobs at a time. So I didn't even have the time to attend. So most of the time I'll come when the class is almost finishing or whatever. But you see, that skill that I learned, Issanaa, today,
You see?
it is helping me so much. As a writer, I have to do a lot of typing. Now I can type at so many, bits per hour, whatever. I've forgotten what we used to call it now. I used to teach typing. Can you imagine? I've forgotten. But I can type without looking at the keyboard. And people are always shocked that, oh, how does she do that? And that's how I can do so much. So that little skill that I learned that I thought, oh, it was something I had to do, I didn't even pass the course because I didn't even do the exam or anything, but it was a skill. And just like what you said, you learned from that experience in the jazz club, you learned presence, you learned about how to present yourself, how your voice, how your talent, how to harness your talent. That's just brilliant. I'm really impressed by that. Thank you so much for that. Okay, I'm going to move on. This time I want to talk about something really a bit, it touches my heart. The Civil War forced you into exile, and I want you to explain what the Civil War was. Yet you transformed that painful transition into an opportunity. What did you learn about resilience and reinvention during that time? So, first of all, tell us what's the Civil War? How did you find yourself in Civil War?
Yes, I know. Seeing from this side of the our planet is maybe doesn't make sense because the war in Africa is a big problem. As if you put your interest on it, you will probably be shocked about what really happened. And unfortunately, I have to take the decision to live again.
Wow.
Because I resist a lot, because this is where I find peace for my for first time in my life.
Life.
And I remember I was in the taxi on the back, and we hear a noise like a boom, and the taxi he go like everywhere, and I find a bullet just close to my my tight, and there was the hole on the window of the taxi. Can you imagine having like 22 years old? It was panic, like a panic.
Yeah,
Everyone was panicking.
Yes.
And unfortunately, these problems is carry on until today. And I hope we will finish one day. But anyway, this is politic things, but it affect lives. And this is where, again, I have to decide to live. And it was so, like, suddenly. And and this is where I came to France by myself, alone again. And all of this teach me how resilience can be your, in French is like your bouée de secours. I don't know how to translate this. Your oxygen, I can say,
Wow.
can be your oxygen.
Yes.
And again, as we said, you only have to choose, stand or collapse.
Collapse.
And if you choose to stand, this is enough. Maybe yes, maybe not, because you also need to build or rebuild.
Wow.
But what you learn, everything in your life you have learned, and this is me, is important. Don't neglect any part of it. Any part is a present. For me, is a present. If you see a story of a man like Nelson Mandela, when he was into this prison, he can just stay there. So, oh my God, my life's finished. This prison, and he couldn't from years and years down. He was a prison, something completely claustrophobic. He just have to sit there from years and years. So this is story, but everyone know who was this great man today. But he had to fight to There's a lot of fight behind as well. It can be painful, but you have to also accept that it can be painful. But it's like a bridge. You cross this bridge to go to the light. You see, the light, or also can be like a mountain. When you climb the mountain, it's not always easy.
No.
Yeah, I did a few times, and it's not always easy. Sometimes you're like, oh my God, am I going to doing? And sometimes can be, not easier, but you have something on top for you.
Oh, that's it. You just need to keep climbing.
And today, this affects everything I do for the women I help and support internationally, because it makes me understand any kind of woman, any kind of background.
Yes.
Sometimes I had to deal with a woman in really tough society, or with a woman with a trauma. So I have this ability that I can listen, like I was saying, without judgment, and bring the right advice, or the right redirection, or the right support, So, so it's for me, today is my strength. And I can share this strength to other women and say, look at my story. If I can do it, you can do it. And you know what, Kemi? I came to the UK with the family just before COVID-19. And I couldn't speak any word in English. Anyone in the family couldn't speak any word in English.
Oh,
I remember my daughter was crying and said, "What do you did to us?" Because we left countryside to France, a big house, and we are here in London without English. What can we do? So
oh,
this is how can I do a podcast today? And not
mm,
just start learn English, I can say after COVID. Why? Because everything was closed, everything was after COVID. And how? This is all the scar I had in my life, and this is resilience. And
that
so
is resilience.
it's never late, and it's not about age. It's not because of what's happened to you or where you are, you standing now. No, it's not about that. It's just a choice, and give yourself authorization that is possible.
Yes.
Yeah,
Give yourself that authorization. I like that. Give yourself authorization. Permit
exactly.
yourself to know that it is possible. So this is amazing. Your story is beautiful. This is a beautiful story. The story of continuous reinvention. Look at the
Yeah,
amount of times you've had to reinvent yourself, and you never let that hold you back. It kept pushing you. I hope this our book we're writing is about resilience. I'm sure there has to be some resilience in it. And there's something else you said which I really really love on a very serious note, is the fact that you said that you are willing to accept any woman without judgment. And that is the wonderful part of being in business. Being in business as a business, like I'm a publishing coach, as you know. I'm not just a coach who just talks to people about books. If you come to me and we talk, that it's not just about books. We talk about life. We talk about your career. We talk about where you're going from here. So it's not just the book that is important. It is the life that you live, because we don't live in isolation. We are a combination of so many things, isn't it? So when you are in business, be in business, be in business for the people that you are looking after, the people that you're working with, your clients. They're your family, because you spend a lot of time with your clients. And what you've just said now makes sense, because a lot of the women who have this image need will be people who have internal needs. So it's not just the makeup or the thing putting your hat on. By the way, I love your hat. I always love your hat. And you look amazing. Did I tell you? I just
oh,
love purple. Even though I talk about the woman in red, I love the purple. It looks so gorgeous. Thank you.
thank
Okay,
you,
so
Kenny.
that was really empowering. Okay, let us look at entrepreneurship and your personal branding. In Paris, you said you trained as a hairdressing aesthetics. You trained in hairdressing, sorry, and aesthetics. That is a big thing now, actually. And eventually launched your first business in 2011.
Yeah.
What was the most pivotal lesson you learned stepping into entrepreneurship? What did you learn when it came to business? Like an entrepreneur, this time it's not in the market. This time you're not a child, you're a grown woman. And this time, there's going to be taxes, there's going to be all sorts of things involved in setting up your business. What were the things that you learned when you wanted to start?
Yeah. When I create my first business in Paris in 2011, it was business, beauty, and aesthetic. I was just coming from a degree school. Before that, I was salary like a travel agent in Paris. But after that, like I had like introspection, and I said I have a lot to bring, a
Mm,
lot more than being travel agency. Of course, I went to school, I do this, I do that, yes, but I have to do something to be
definitely.
more, to touch more people with all of the skills I had. But I go back, I went back to school doing this degree
Mm-hmm.
and create my business. And this was before I became image consultant 2 years later. And one thing I learned was like, okay, certification, skills, passion, all of this is important. My personality go first for all of this, but
Mm,
it is enough. I will say no, because when you're in business, you also need certain resources. You need
yes.
resources, and
Yes.
being in business and you have your certification, have the skills, being passionate. For me, is not enough. And you need support, you need resources, you need
Mm-hmm.
networking, you need
Definitely.
connection, you need people like mentors. And I
Mm-hmm.
learned this after certain time, and you lose time. I lost time a lot. Yeah, business is for me the act of the faith, the faith, the faith. When you're into business, it's like a higher level competition of the sport. And
Definitely.
yeah, and you just discover that, wow, all of my skills doesn't enough. Who going to marketing me? Who going to who go?
Of
Anyone
course.
that doesn't know me? And yeah, so you need to work seriously on that. So I will say resources is really important, and
Mm,
don't hesitate to go for mentor. I'm also a mentor,
mm,
and yeah, I have helping women in politics, women in financial background, and women entrepreneur. And
mm.
when I can see the result, it really makes me happy. Yeah, I
I
say
can
this,
imagine. I
I
can
did my
imagine.
mission, and this is a big encouragement, yeah, for
Yeah.
for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. It's same thing, that is my mission to help women entrepreneurs and career women to have a voice. And having a voice is either through publishing their books, which I'm passionate about,
Exactly.
and also being able to share their story, which is what we're doing here today. And it really, really, I love the fact that you mentioned something about being in business. And I did a write up about this recently about the importance of your internal and external resources because you cannot be in business if you don't harness both. If you only have internal resources, it will not do you anything because your internal resources is not going to pay the bill. You understand?
And anyone don't know about it. So,
Nobody knows about your internal.
nobody.
You can't tell the person that your landlord or whatever your mortgage. You can't tell them I'm very strong. I'm very resilient.
I'm
Uh,
authentic.
I'm not.
At the end of the day, your first impression will be your first card, visit card, your cover will be the cover of your book. Will you do the book just with content, or will you do the book? How we know that it's you?
Exactly.
It's your first impression. So
So,
it means you take yourself in consideration by respecting
mhm,
yourself, you're respecting others as well,
that's
and
true.
you can learn about that.
That's true. So that is so important. It's so important to learn. It's so important to understand that having a coach, and I like the fact that you said that, having a coach is so important because there's a
Save
lot
time.
you can learn from, it's not because you don't know it, it's because there is somebody there who can direct you. It makes the journey quicker, it makes you able to get to it faster, and it makes two heads are always better than one. That's what I say. you know when I'm looking at people's books who they want to write, and we're going to write your own book as well,
Yeah, soon.
we, yeah, very
Stay
soon.
tuned.
Yes, oh, of course, that goes without saying. We will start to discuss what you want in that book, and when we're discussing it, you might find that, oh, what I thought was this way, we might decide, oh no, let's try this way because this is a better way, this is what the people would want to hear. So that those are the things that are so important in business. So your internal and your external resources are very important. Okay, so now moving on, that's a very pivotal lesson. You now specialize in holistic image consulting. and charismatic personal branding. Can you explain what that means and why aligning image with purpose is so powerful for women leaders? Why is it powerful?
Yeah. Personal branding, charismatic personal branding for me is a lot about your image.
Mm,
It's a lot about your image. And a holistic image is your mission, is your value, is
mm,
of course also your communication, is
wow.
also fashion, because the problem is some people when they hear about image, they think that it's only about fashion. And
Mm,
of course, fashion is important. The way you look, the way you dress is really
mhm,
important. And I can transform your life by the way you look and dress and make you do this with ease and get credibility
mhm,
so quick. But without your inner
mm,
resources,
mm,
the result will be not like a powerful.
mm,
So a charismatic personal branding is makes your holistic image with your value, with your communication,
brilliant.
with your presence, with your posture.
Hmm,
Yes, and this is all of this will bring you this credibility we want, this confidence we want,
hmm,
this self-esteem. Because if you don't see yourself with the truth, it's not a good start.
no,
But
no,
sometimes you need someone to show you your truth.
yes,
And
yes.
personal branding, of course, you need your logo, you need colors. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really good about colors. I can show you
I can see
things.
that.
I have a
I can see
lot
that.
about colors. I think you can see a bit of my
Yes, I
background.
can see the art in the background. Yes.
Yeah, I can talk about color for hours and hours. And but before doing this diagnostic to bring the great tonality for you, we need to know who you are, your
Definitely.
personality, your daily life.
Mm,
And sometimes you also have to go inner,
mm,
because when women comes to me and say, oh, I'm coming because my femininity, uh, particular women in financial background, the deal is to have a credibility in the middle of the men in the
mm.
person in the
Boardroom.
yeah, and stay a woman, because some of them say I'm tired to be a man, I'm
Mm,
tired to have to react like a man
recommend.
or dress like a man, to
Mm-hmm.
be respectful, to be
Respected. Yes.
respected and
Yes.
accepted. And me, I come with my gift, with my professionalism, and say this is how you can into your topic, into your business or into your
Yes.
work, stay yourself and respect the codes.
Mm-hmm.
So I teach
Mm-hmm.
these codes.
Mm.
So it's possible. I will say it's possible.
Of course.
Yeah. And it's not something only for people. When I say people like stars, it's not something only for royalty, or it's something,
Mm.
this is why I'm here. If you're coming from royalty, I'm happy as well. But if you're not coming
Of
from
course. Of
royalty,
course.
yeah, yeah, if you're not coming from, we are all have something like a queen as a woman, or
Of
we are,
course. We
but
are all queens.
whatever, what your background, your where you grew up, or where it's not, doesn't matter. If it's from
No.
royalty, well done. If it's not, well done as well. It's
Mm-hmm.
your gift, it's your strength.
Mm.
You can turn anyway, whatever you have as a gift, as a strength, and building with. But you need also to stand into your
Mm.
beauty, your feminine power as a
Power.
woman. You need
Mm-hmm.
that. You can't deny that. If you deny that, you can express a charismatic personal branding. You
Oh,
can put
so
a beautiful logo. We can do that with all the colors. You can put a beautiful social media or things like that,
Mm,
everything like that,
mm,
but with your energy.
mhm.
But yeah, with your energy, your true energy,
The true,
the woman you know that you
truly are.
knew that you, yeah, truly
The
are.
woman you truly are.
Not the woman who need validation or woman who
Mhm.
carry, I don't know what.
To be honest, what you've just described for me is what I call the woman in red. You understand? You remember my book, The Woman in Red? That's
Of
on its way.
course,
I can't wait
I
because
love
every
it.
time I talk to a woman, it's like, yeah, there's more ammunition here because that's it. The woman in red is a bold woman who is not afraid to express her innermost person. It's not just about the dress that you wear, it's not about what you present, it's what's inside. And people can see that. You know, when people see you, they know. They know what to
Yeah,
expect.
yeah. I will say that don't neglect the dress you wear because it's
Of
also
course, of
important.
course.
It's
That's
important.
yeah, very
I
important. That's
mentioned
why I
the
said
book. I mentioned the book. Your cover is important. Don't neglect it. But it have to represent what is into the book. Not just the cover, but the right you. You know?
Yes, yes. Because, like you said, a book can have, I know about books, a book can have a great cover. But when you then look inside of it, you
Have
read
to
the
match.
first 2 pages and it doesn't capture you, you're like, why are you wasting my time? You understand? Even though it
I love that.
looks, yes, it looks like I'll give you a good example. This is when we were young. We were a group of friends. We were standing together, and this lady came in. She was a young lady. We were all young, very young. And this young girl came in and she was gorgeous. Everybody was like, wow, who is this? She was so beautiful. Huh, Issanaa, this lady opened her mouth and it was like somebody just pierced a balloon and everything just went.
You see? I
You
love this
understand?
story. This is what the charismatic personal brand and holistic image have to be your energy, your posture. It's not just the cover of the book. It's
Exactly.
also the content of the
Of
book.
the book. So true. So true. I can never forget that story because all the guys they were like all over her, and then all of a sudden she just spoke. And it was like, what? They all just turned. Everybody just
Yeah.
turned. It's like
So
they just lost interest completely. And
it's
that is why your personal branding is who you are, both on the inside and on the outside. That's my
exactly. And this is
learning
what,
point.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. This is it's something you can learn,
Yes.
and it's
So
it's possible.
important. Okay. So you've lived in and worked in multiple countries. You're a multiple country woman. You've lived in Cameroon, you've lived
Yeah.
in Ivory Coast, you've lived in France, and now you're in the UK.
Mm.
How has that international journey shaped your vision and influence? How has all that come together?
Yeah. Today, I consider myself as a multicultural. Can we say that?
Multicultural, yes, of course.
Multicultural woman,
Yes.
and all the cultures I have crossed in my life, and it's all mixed together, all the good about any kind of culture. Because if you know how to cook or eat the
Hmm.
coq au vin,
Coq au vin.
and when
Yes,
you cross fish and chips, you don't forget about coq au vin.
coq au vin. I
Fish and
like
chips come on top of your coq au vin. It's
that.
about richness.
It is about richness. I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's about richness. Everywhere I went through my life, I'm always open,
Hmm.
and but just with respect, open to the local and
Yes.
try to see what I can bring and what I can learn as well,
What you can
because it's
learn. I
going
love
both
that.
ways.
Yes.
And all of this richness I have learned in my life today is allowing me to bring it to the woman I accompany, like as a mentor.
Yes.
And it's also allowing me, like I was saying, to understand a woman, whatever they are, religious or
Mm.
they wish any kind of culture. I had any type of woman
Yes.
into my coaching and mentoring.
Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant.
And this make me to understand that we are human beings. And
Regardless of where you're
for,
from, you are
yeah,
a human
I'm a
being.
spiritual person. I understand that we are energy.
Mm.
Energy for me is love, is respect.
Mm.
And all of this is richness. And all of this richness, I can put it on the table to
Brilliant.
push another woman and say, my light, if I want my light to be powerful enough
Mm.
to give the path to another woman.
Brilliant.
Say, just go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So that takes us nicely because you talked about light. In 2025, you were honored as Woman of Light, which is brilliant. What does that recognition mean to you personally and professionally as the Woman of Light?
Yeah, this was a good surprise for me when I went to Paris for conference. It's really recent. It's from this year, last summer.
Yes, 2025.
And
Yeah.
wow, I was touching my heart. And personally, for me, is showing me that that resilience I had built in, not on purpose, because I didn't choose certain things in my life, but
Mm-hmm.
I embrace and accept all of this, and it's become a strength for me. So it's
Wow.
showing me that resilience making sense, and
Mm.
professionally, it's showing me that when you dare to do things, when you dare to show your life, when you
Mm.
dare to bring value, people notice.
That's true. That's true.
People notice.
When you dare to bring value, people notice. When you dare to bring value, people notice. I love that. I love that. I'm going to use that. When you dare to bring value, people notice. Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay, so moving on, we're going to look at legacy and your purpose pathway. So, you empower women to dare to shine. What advice would you give to women listening who may be hiding their light or struggling with self esteem? Because that's what you do, isn't it? Help people with their self esteem. What would be your advice?
Yeah. My first advice will be your light, woman, listen, your light is not negotiable.
Hmm.
Your light is not negotiable. You can't shrink to fit anyone comfort. You can't do that.
Hmm.
And yeah, I will say hiding your power doesn't serve anyone.
Hmm. True.
So stand up. If you don't know how to do it, we are here for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I will
Hiding.
personally shake you enough with love and professionalism, and you will be my ambassador.
Oh, I love the
This is, yeah,
ambassador. You will be the ambassador.
this is what
Hiding.
happened every time I bring my professionalism somewhere. This is what happened. And
Brilliant.
I'm not the best one to talk about what I bring. My clients, they are. Yeah.
Brilliant. Definitely. That's always what happens. It's your clients who talk about what you are. You see, I'm a Christian, and there is a scripture in the Bible that says that you cannot light a lamp. You can't put light like candle. You light a candle and then you put it under a chair. What's going to happen? You light a candle and you put it in a place where it's going to bring light. And that is what you've just said now. You know, what is the point of hiding your light? Who is it going to serve? It's not going to serve anybody. It's not serving you, and it's not serving anyone else. So when your light shines, you serve everybody. You know, when you go into a dark place and you put in light, everybody can see, you know? So that is amazing. That is really brilliant. Okay. So finally, we're coming towards the end now. Looking ahead, what is your vision for the future of your work and the women you're called to impact? What is the future for them? What vision do you have?
First, I will say, men, feel free to come as well because it happens sometimes. It
Yes.
happens sometimes, and we are happy to welcome you. And for the woman, my vision will be to see most of women leaders to rise,
Hmm.
to dare to rise, to dare to shine.
Hmm.
And whatever happened into your life, wherever you're coming from,
Hmm.
what's the situation, any kind of situation you're facing now, what I want to say to you, woman, is like it's possible
Hmm.
to rise again.
Oh,
It's
yes.
possible to rise again. And you see, difficulties can be a bridge
Hmm.
for the best. Depend on you. It's not comfort. The success is not comfortable. You have to learn about that, understand that.
Yes.
I want to see a woman mostly, more often, to be a leader, to dare to rise,
Hmm.
and to dare to stand. Yeah, to dare to
That's
bring the gift they have, because they have,
brilliant.
I'm sure. Sometimes
Oh.
they don't even know that they have, but they have. With my eyes, when I see a woman, sometimes when some women come and say, "Oh, I lost my husband because my career was this and financial, this was that, and my image was not this and that,"
Hmm.
and because they didn't prioritize themselves.
Hmm.
How can you bring anything to anyone if you can bring it to you first?
Yourself.
If you can, you can always give what you have.
You have.
What do you
Yes.
have for yourself?
That's true.
You only give what you have. If you have something for yourself, that you
You
can
can
give.
give it.
And women, they tend to serve everyone
Yes.
before themselves. I'm not
Yourself.
against serving and
Everyone.
bring
Mm-hmm.
the gift, bring the value, bring the contribution. I'm not against. On my journey, I served a
Hmm.
lot, starting at 10 years old by serving my siblings. So I know what is. But I can say to the woman today, the best thing to do is embrace yourself
Hmm.
with love. Give yourself the permission. You don't need validation to give yourself the permission to invest to yourself. Invest
That's
to your confidence, to your image. Your image bring and build your confidence.
true.
Your
That's true.
image build your personal branding.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you have to choose yourself first because you're the queen and you have to know about that.
Hmm.
And yeah, sometimes it's not easy, but
Hmm.
it's possible.
It is possible. It is possible. Thank you very much. I did a write-up recently called Vision and Possible. I am possible. Instead of impossible, vision and possible. So you are possible. I am possible. We just have to stand and know what our possibilities are, you know, and it's about being bold in your possibilities. So thank you so much. Your story has been an amazing story. Your journey has been a beautiful reminder that no matter where we start, we can rise, reinvent, and shine our light boldly. For our listeners, remember, your purpose is not just about what you do, It's about who you are becoming, who you are and who you are becoming. Now, to connect with Issanaa and learn more about her work in image and personal branding, you'll find her links in the show notes. Until next time, we will continue to walk the pathway to purpose. But before then, I want Issanaa to say the last word and tell us exactly how you want people to connect with you. So tell people about if you have a website, if you have anything, where that people can connect on social media. Go on.
Yes. All my social media is the same name, Issanaa D. Issanaa D, and my website is issanaa.com. And also, I will be happy to offer a free consultation. So I'll send the link to you, Kemi.
Okay.
And a free consultation so we can see where you are and see what we can do for you about your image, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your personal branding. So I'm happy to do that.
That is so true, and that is so great. Thank you so much, Issanaa. It's been a real pleasure having you on here. And for all our listeners, embrace your personal branding. Dare to shine. Walk your purpose and get to that place of purpose. It doesn't matter what your pathway is. It doesn't matter where you started from. Walk your pathway to your purpose. Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Kemi.
Thanks, Issanaa. Thanks. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you to our listeners as well for listening.
Exactly.